Welcome to Physics and Rapid YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to solve problems on vector calculus from 2013 to 2025. That is a KSET physical science question papers from the year 2013 to 2025. The concepts which will cover completely the vector calculus, which comes under mathematical physics in physical science. I'm mainly concentrating on the KSET examination. Yes. Now, let us start with the first question. What does the question says? The question says here, identify the correct statement for the following vectors. A vector which is equal to 6 I cap minus 9 j cap and B vector which is equal to minus 2 I cap plus 3 j cap, which was asked in the year 2014. And they have given the two vectors and we must choose which of the options are correct here. The vectors A and B are linearly independent. The vectors A and B are linearly dependent. The vectors A and B are orthogonal. The vectors A and B are normalized. Let us start solving one by one. The vectors A and B are linearly independent. What is the meaning of this linearly independent? A linearly independent means any vector, if I consider a vector independent, if I consider a vector cannot be written as a scalar multiple of b vector. Means I can't write any vector. It can be a vector or it can be a b vector. A vector cannot be written as a scalar multiple if I consider C to be a scalar multiple of b vector, where C is scalar. Okay. This is a condition for linearly independent vectors. I am repeating again, what is the linearly independent vectors means? Any vector, either a vector or b vector, cannot be written in terms of a scalar multiple of any of these two vectors. Okay. Now let us see, can we write this a vector in terms of b vector or b vector in terms of a vector? Now I'm considering again the question. A vector they have given to be 6 times of I cap minus 9 times of j cap, and b vector to be equal to minus 2 times of I cap plus 3 times of j cap. Right. Now I'm going to write a vector which is equal to minus 3 times of b vector. Can it be possible? Yeah, we will see. A vector which is equal to minus 3 times of, write the b vector. B vector is minus 2 times of I cap plus 3 times of j cap. Now on solving, I got minus of minus, it will be plus 6 times of I cap minus 3 threes are 9 times of j cap. So this a vector which is equal to minus 3 times of b vector. We got the a vector value which is equal to 6 times of I cap minus 9 times of j cap. They have already given here a vector which is equal to 6 times of I cap minus 9 times of j cap. So I have written a vector in terms of scalar product of b vector. Now the condition is satisfied. The linear independent, what does it say? uh, any vector cannot be written in terms of a scalar multiple of any vector, any of the vector. Now, what is the definition of this? We call it as the vectors A vector and B vector are linearly dependent. So, option B. This is the definition for linearly dependent vectors. What are these linearly dependent vectors? Means any vector, for example, a vector can be written as scalar multiple. That is, C I'm considering to be a scalar multiple of B vector. Yes, I can write like this. Now, option B is the right option. Okay. Now, let us solve this third option also. The vectors A vector and B vector are orthogonal. What does the word orthogonal means? Orthogonal vectors are nothing but the perpendicular vectors. Orthogonal vectors are nothing but the perpendicular vector. Simply, instead of orthogonal, I can call it as a perpendicular. Now, perpendicular vectors means, that is, dot product of A vector dot B vector, it should be equal to 0. What is the dot product of A vector dot B vector? that is equal to AB cos theta, right? If theta, which is equal to 90 degree, what is cos 90? Cos 90, which is equal to 0, then this A vector dot B vector will be equal to 0. What does it means? These two vectors are perpendicular to each other. Let us solve this and see whether this option is correct. Now, that is 6 times of I cap minus 9 times of j cap into minus 2 times of I cap plus 3 times of j cap, right? Now on multiplying, now I cap dot I cap will gives you 1. I have told this many times, whereas I cap cross j cap, that gives you 0. Now normal multiplication, we will get the 4 terms, whereas vector multiplication, that is a multiplication of a unit vectors, we will get only 2 terms, that is in the dot product. Okay, now 6 minus 2, it is minus 12 I cap dot I cap, which is equal to 1, minus 9 threes are 27, so it is not equal to 0, right? Now option C is also the wrong option. You know what is orthogonal vectors. I hope it is clear. Now we will solve for the D option also, that is the vectors A and B are normalized. What does the normalized meaning is? Normalization or normalized vectors means, that is the magnitude of itself. For example, we will consider a vector. The magnitude of a vector should be equal to 1. Then I can say it to be a normalized vector. Okay, I hope it is clear. Let us solve a magnitude of a vector itself. A magnitude of a vector itself means a vector dot a vector you can do, or square root of 6 square minus plus minus 9 whole square. So this is the way to find the magnitude of a vector, right? So the magnitude of a vector, we need to get the the value. So 6 6 are 36 plus 9 9s are 81. Now we are not getting the value to be 1, or you can do one more way. The one more way is the same way, that is a vector dot a vector, we need to get 1, that is 6 times of I cap minus 9 times of j cap, dot product of 6 times of I cap minus 9 times of j cap. So that is equal to 6 6 are 36 minus of minus plus 9 9s are 81. Okay, so we are not getting the value to be equal to 1. Now I can say uh, this what I can say, this fourth statement is also the wrong statement. Okay, I hope everyone is clear and everyone understood this question and the concepts. Now let us move to the next question. What does the next question says? If a vector, which is equal to 5 times of t square I cap plus t j cap plus t cube k cap, and b vector, which is equal to sin t I cap minus cos t j cap plus 6 times of k cap. Now differentiation of a vector dot b vector. We need to do the dot product of a vector dot b vector, which was asked in 2015. Let us solve this question. A vector dot b vector, that is 5 times of t square I cap plus t times of j cap plus t cube into k cap, dot product of sin t I cap minus cos t j cap plus 6 times of k cap. Now on multiplying, that is if we do the dot product, not just a simple multiplication, if we do the dot product, we will get only 3 terms. I cap dot I cap, which is equal to 1, it will be 5 times of t square sin t plus plus into minus, it will be minus of t into cos t, it will be cos t into t I cap dot I cap, which is equal to 1, plus 6 into t cube, that is 6 times of t cube k cap dot k cap, which is equal to 1. So we got the value of a vector dot b vector to be equal to this value. Now what they are telling, the differentiation of a vector dot b vector. Now differentiation of a vector dot b vector, that is differentiation of 5 times of t square sin t. I am going to rewrite again. This is 5 times of t square sine t minus differentiation of uh, t times of cos of t plus differentiation of 6 times of t cube. Now here we have a two variables. If it was one variable, it was easy. We having a two variables. If we have two variables, you need to apply the product rule, that is a UV rule. First, I'm going to keep the t square as it is. I'm going to differentiate a sine t. Differentiation of sine t is cos t. Now I'm going to keep sine t as it is. Differentiation of t square is 2 times of t. Now difference again here also we need to two variables we have at a time. If you want a differentiation, we need to do apply the product rule. Once I'll keep the t as it is, differentiation of cos t is minus sine t plus cos t I'm going to keep as it is. Differentiation of t is 1. Okay, plus differentiation of t cube, that we have a 6 prior only, it will be 6 into 3 times of t square. Okay, now on solving this, it is 5 times of t square cos t plus 5 2s are 10 times of t into sine t minus of minus plus t times of sine t minus cos t, right, plus 6 3s are 18 times of t square. Now on rearranging the terms, from these two terms I can take cos t common. If I take cos t common, what is remaining inside the bracket? 5 times of t square minus 1. Now a plus 10t sin t plus t sin t, it will be 11 times of t sin t plus 18 times of t square. Now check which option is the right option. From looking at the option, I can tick to the D option, that is 5 times of t square minus 1 cos t plus 11 times of t sin t. This the t square term has been omitted. So I can tick to the D option, right? Yes. Let us move to the next question. What does the question says? Which was asked in the year 2016. The question says here, if a vector which is equal to 2 times of I cap plus 2 times of j cap plus k cap, a vector dot b vector which is equal to 14, and a vector cross b vector which is equal to 3 times of I cap plus j cap minus 8 k cap, then b vector which is equal to 0. This kind of questions can be solved with the help of the options. Okay, now we will first solve for a vector and b vector. They have given a vector, then we will solve for a vector cross b vector, keeping one option one by one. Now I have solved already. I'll take with the option C. I'll go with the option C. We will check for the option C whether these two conditions are satisfied or not. Okay, now a vector is a vector dot b vector, right? Now a vector I am keeping as 2 times of I cap plus 2 times of j cap plus k cap dot b vector I am keeping as this 5 times of I cap plus j cap plus 2 times of k cap. Now on solving the dot product, we got 2 5s are 10 plus 2 1s are 2 plus 1 2s are 2. We are getting 14. Yes, the 14 is the right option, right? And we will cross check for a vector cross b vector. If I cross check for a vector cross b vector, that is determinant of I cap, j cap and k cap. A vector they have already given, it is 2, 2 and 1. B vector we have considered to be option C, that is 5, 1 and 2. Determinant, solving determinant, I have solved this determinant many times in my previous video. You can go and check there. So it will be plus I cap into determinant of this 2 2s are 4 minus 1 minus j cap into determinant of 2 1 5 2, that is it will be 4 minus 5 plus k cap into determinant of 2 2 5 1, 2 1s are 2 minus 5 2s are 10. Now on rearranging the terms, what I'll get, it will be 3 times of I cap minus of minus plus it will be j cap minus 8 times of k cap. On solving, we are getting the right answer. So doing the trial and error method for all these options, we got the option C to be the right option. Now, this kind of problems, if you do this way only, it will be easier to solve. Okay, yes, let us proceed to the next question. The next question, which was asked in 2016, uh, the vector that is perpendicular to the surface x square plus 2 times of y square plus 3 times of z square minus 4, which is equal to 0. I can take like this. I'm considering this to be phi at 0 comma 1 comma 1 because this is a scalar. A scalar I'm considering to be a phi is the vector that is perpendicular to the surface. Means what they are asking means they are asking to find the gradient of the scalar at the points x which is equal to 0 and y which is equal to 1, z which is equal to 1. Now let us find the gradient of this phi. What is the phi? The phi they have given to be x square plus 2 times of y square plus 3 times of z square minus 4, that is equal to 0. Now, what is the formula to find the gradient of phi in the Cartesian coordinate system? I'm going to rewrite here dou divided by dou x into phi x I cap plus dou divided by dou y into phi y j cap plus dou divided by dou z into phi z into k cap. Now, what is phi x here? Phi x is the x square, phi y is the 2 times of y square and phi z is 3 times of z square. Okay. Now, dou divided by dou x of phi x is x square into I cap plus dou divided by dou y phi y is 2 times of y square into j cap plus dou divided by dou z into phi z is 3 times of z square into k cap. Now, on solving, we got it to be 2 times of x, that is partial derivative of x square with respect to x. It will be 2 times of x I cap. Here it will be 4 times of y square j cap. Here it will be 3 2s are 6, 6 times of z into k cap. Now, they have given the values to be 0, 1, 1. X value is 0, this completely vanishes. Here it will be 4 times of 1 square is 1 j cap plus 6 times of z. Z is also 1. So 6 times of k cap. We got the answer 4 times of j cap plus 6 times of k cap. So option A is the right option. I hope this question is clear to everyone. Moving to the next question, which was asked in again in the year 2016. The 2016 three questions were asked under vector calculus. Yeah, let us solve this question. A body is executing circular motion about the point 0, that is 1 comma 3 comma 4. What does it says means along x-axis it is 1 meter distance or 1 unit distance. Along y-axis it is 3 unit distance. Along z-axis it is 4 unit distance with the radius of 5 units. The direction of the acceleration of the body when it is located at 1 comma only at along the x-axis it is associated. X is having 1 unit, whereas y and z it is 0 0. It is given by the vector. Now we want to find the direction of this the direction of the acceleration of the body. Now, the direction of the acceleration of the body can be found out by the position vector, that is a OP vector. How to find the OP vector? That is O vector minus P vector. They have given the O, so O of 1 comma 3 comma 4. So O vector can be written as I cap plus 3 times of j cap plus 4 times of k cap, right? And now to some point P. Now P vector can be written as I cap only. It will be 0 times of j cap plus 0 times of k cap. So OP vector can be found out as I cap plus 3 times of j cap plus 4 times of k cap negative of this P vector, that is I cap plus 0 times of j cap plus 0 times of k cap, right? Now OP vector, we got the value of OP vector which is equal to I cap minus I cap, it will be 0 times of I cap. 3 times of j cap minus 0 times of j cap, it will be plus 3 times of j cap. 4 times of k cap minus 0 times of k cap, it will be 4 times of k cap, right? So OP vector, which is equal to 3 times of j cap plus 4 times of k cap, which is the right option. Option A is the right option. Yes, let us proceed to the next question. What does the next question says, which was asked in the year 2017? The absolute value of the integral, that is a closed integral, r vector cross a dr vector around an equilateral triangle of side A with origin at its center. Okay, now I want to find the value of this closed integral. Now r vector can I write in terms of x I cap plus y j cap s. Now dr vector, can I write it as dx into I cap plus dy into j cap? Yes, I can write. Now r vector cross dr vector is nothing but what we will get? We will get x into dy minus y into dx along k cap direction, right? This is what we get. Now we want the closed integral of r vector cross dr vector around an equilateral triangle of side A with origin at its center. Okay. Now we have the formula, the area under any curve. Area under any curve, that is equal to half times of closed integral of r vector cross dr vector, or you can write it as half of closed integral of x into dy minus y into dx. Okay, now I'm going to continue here. Now area I am writing in terms of a capital A. Now 2 times of area on cross multiplying, we got the closed integral of r vector cross dr vector. Now what I want, I want the formula for, I want the value for this. It is nothing but the 2 times of area of the under the any curve is nothing but here our equilateral triangle. Now what is the area of the equilateral triangle? Area of equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle area is given by square root of 3 divided by 4 times of a square, that is height into breadth, right? Height is what? Square root of 3 divided by 2 times of a will be the height, and its breadth will be a by 2, because they have considered equilateral triangle of side A with origin at its center. Okay, I'm going to draw a rough diagram. Equilateral triangle which is having the height value which is equal to square root of 3 divided by 2 times of a. If I consider this to be completely a, this value will be a by 2. So length height into this breadth, it will be 3 by 2 times of a into a by 2. So it will be root 3 by 4 times of a square. This is the area of the equilateral triangle. Now we want the value for this closed integral over r vector cross dr vector, that is 2 times of area. Now 2 times of area is nothing but 2 times of square root of 3 divided by 4 a square. 2 ones are 2 twos are. Now we got the value to be square root of 3 divided by 2 times of a square, that is option C is the right option. Yes, we will move to the next question. In the 2018, the two questions were asked from this vector calculus. The work done by the force F vector, which is equal to x into I cap y into j cap along a circular path from 1 comma 0 and 0 comma 1. So this is x1 value and this is y1 value. This is x2 value and this is y2 value. Now from the definition, what is work done? Work done which is equal to dot product of force and displacement, or the force and the position vector, that is dr vector, right? Integral of. Now the area under the force and the displacement curve, which is nothing but the work done, or else you can write it as one more way, that is integration of f vector dot dx vector or the dr vector you can write. Now what they have given, the x vector is x into I cap plus y into j cap. Dot product of dr vector can be written as dx into I cap plus dy into j cap. Yes, we can write it like this, right? Integration of x runs from 1 to 0 and integration of y runs from 0 to 1, right? Now total work done, which is equal to, on doing the dot product, let me keep the limits aside. Now it will be x into dx plus y into dy. We got the solution, right? Now completely separating and applying the limits, we'll get the solution to be equal to, it will be from 1 to 0, it will be from 0 to 1. Now the integration of x into dx will be x square divided by 2. The limits are from 1 to 0, and the integration of y into a dy is y square divided by 2. The limits from 0 to 1. Now applying the limits, first we need to apply the upper limit, then the lower limit. So it will be x square, it will be 0 square minus of 1 square plus 1 by 2 if I take common, applying the upper limit, 1 square minus 0 square. So we are getting the value minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. Minus of plus of, that will be equal to 0. So the work done, which is equal to 0. The work done, which is equal to 0. Or you can directly say the work done by the force along the closed path, which is equal to directly the circular path or the closed path, that is equal to 0 because it is a conservative in nature. We can orally solve this question as well. Now the volume of the parallelepiped with the edges. This is the direct question from the scalar triple product. For the concurrent edges or the concurrent vectors, these are the concurrent vectors or the concurrent edges, I can say, starting from the same point or the same plane. Now the scalar product, scalar triple product, this is, let me this write, this is the 8th question and this is the 9th question. Scalar triple product. From the definition of scalar triple product, we have a vector dot b vector cross c vector can be written as determinant of ax, ay, az, bx, by, bz, cx, cy and cz. Now determinant of ax, ay, az. Ax, ay, az is 1, 1 and 0. Here the determinant will be 0, 1, 1. Here it will be 1, 0 and 1. Now for solving, we'll get out, you people know how to solve the determinant. Determinants are very necessity. The matrices are very necessity in the physics. Okay, you must know how to solve the determinant and all. So it will be plus 1 and a determinant of 1, 1, 0, 1, it will be 1 minus 0, and minus 1 determinant of 0, 1, 1, 1, it will be 0 minus 1 and it will be plus 0. Now we got the answer 1 minus of minus plus 1, that is equal to 2. The scalar triple product of a vector dot b vector cross c vector, that will gives you the value of the parallelepiped with the edges, that is a concurrent edges, a vector which is equal to I cap plus j cap, b vector which is equal to j cap plus k cap, and c vector which is equal to k cap plus I cap. The value is 2. Let me tick to the D option. Let us proceed to the next question, which was asked in the year 2020. Yes. Identify the vectors that is perpendicular to both I cap plus 2 times of j cap minus 3 times of k cap and minus I cap plus j cap minus 2 times of k cap from the following. Now let us solve this question. Identify the vectors that is perpendicular. In the first question only I have solved. Orthogonal or perpendicular means the vectors that will be perpendicular to each other, that is angle between them which is equal to 0. Now a vector dot b vector to be equal to 0. Now let us consider this vector to be a vector and this vector to be equal to b vector, and whatever the vector we are taking, that vector to be equal to c vector. Let us proceed. um, let us start with the first option. A vector um, dot this uh, a vector, if I consider separately, we need to consider identify the vector that is perpendicular to both. This is the general condition, perpendicular to both vector. This is, I'm considering option A to be a vector only. So it will be I cap plus 2 times of j cap minus 3 times of k cap, and dot product of a vector is I cap plus 3 times of j cap plus 2 times of k cap. Now if I solve, it will be 1 1 are 1 plus 2 3 are 6 minus 3 2 are 6. We are getting the answer to be 1. The option is wrong. Yes, let us proceed to the second option, that is a vector dot b vector. A vector dot b vector, that is I cap plus 2 times of j cap minus 3 times of k cap, dot product of 2 times of I cap plus 3 times of j cap plus k cap. Now it will be 2 plus 3 2s are 6 minus 3 1s are 3. No, this is also not equal to 0. Now let us proceed to the C option, that is C vector. A vector dot C vector, which is equal to minus I cap plus 5 j cap plus 3 times of k cap, dot product of I cap plus 2 times of j cap minus 3 times of k cap. I can interchange because it is commutative. So it will be I cap minus I cap minus I cap, it will be minus 1 plus 5 2s are 10 minus 3 3s are 9. So we are getting it to be 0. So I can say option C is the right option. We will cross check for this B vector also. Now B vector cross dot product of, not the cross, it is dot product of C vector, that is B vector is minus I cap plus j cap minus 2 times of k cap, dot product of minus I cap plus 5 times of j cap plus 3 times of k cap. Okay, so it will be minus of minus plus 1 plus 5 1s 5 6 minus 3 2s 3 2s 6. It will be 1 5s 5. Okay, so plus 6 and minus 6 get cancelled, it is 0. Now option C is the right option. Identify the vector that is perpendicular to the both a vector and b vector from the following, that is C vector. Okay, or the C option. Now let us proceed to the next question. The next question, which was asked in the year 2024, is let us solve this question. The greatest rate of increase of phi at the point, this is the x value 0 and this is y value and this is z value. We need to find the gradient. Okay, the gradient of the scalar. The question is again repeating. Now the answer, what does this greatest rate of increase means, I'll tell. So it is gradient. First we shall find the gradient of phi at 0 comma 1 comma 2, that is dou divided by dou x of phi into I cap plus dou divided by dou y of phi into j cap plus dou divided by dou z of phi into k cap. Okay, dou divided by dou x of phi is what? X y z square plus I cap plus dou divided by dou y of phi is what? X y z square into j cap plus dou divided by dou z of phi is what? X y z square k cap. Now on differentiating partially with respect to x, keeping y and z constant, it will be 1 I cap plus this is x times of z square j cap plus 2 times of x y z k cap. Okay, now substituting the value for 0 1 2, so it will be 1 and z square which will be 2 square I cap, and x value we are having the 0, completely the terms will be 0, it will be 4 times of I cap. Now we got the gradient of phi at 0, 1, 2 to be 4 times of I cap. The greatest rate of increase of phi is what means, that is the magnitude of this gradient of phi that will gives you the greatest rate of increase. The magnitude of gradient of phi is 4 square. 4 square is again 4. So option 4 as that is 4 is the right option. Okay. Yes, let us proceed to the next question. The next question we have, this was asked in 2025. If a force F vector is derivable from a potential function V of R, where R is the distance from the origin of the coordinate system, then it will follow. Now, we know the relationship between the force and the potential to be equal to minus gradient of V, right? And potential is a scalar. Remember that. F vector which is equal to minus gradient of V. Now, what they are asking, we must say which option satisfy here. Either option 1, option 2, option 3 or option 4. Let us proceed with the first option. Now, this gradient that is curl of F vector which is equal to curl of gradient of this potential. What is the value for this? Let us take this minus sign out of this. It will be curl of gradient of V. Now, curl of gradient of V. We have from the vector identities the curl of gradient of V that is equal to 0. It is a direct formula from the vector identities. We have curl of gradient of any scalar. Any scalar, it can be phi here, and potential is also a scalar. Any scalar, it is equal to 0. Now this entire term will be 0. Now curl of F vector which is equal to 0. Now option 1 is only the right option. No need to check the rest of options. Okay, it is not equal to 0, this is also not equal to 0, and this will be not equal to 0. This was the why I took this question under vector calculus, means it is coming under the vector identities. If we know this identity only, we can solve this problem. Okay, now I can say a curl of F vector which is equal to 0 means it is a conservative field. If it is a conservative field means it is a irrotational. Okay, I hope this session helps you people in KSET preparation. Thank you for watching. For more videos, you can visit my channel and keep learning.